Anyway, so everybody is getting here. I'm so excited. People are going to be coming in. Welcome to our transparency meetup. We're going to be having these once a month, and it's going to be on the second Wednesday. Now, I'm going to be, here we go. I just put the okay, everybody. So I just put the meeting link for the November meetup into the chat, and we're having another meetup on November 9th. We're going to be doing these monthly. This is a recorded meeting. If anybody cannot be on a recorded line, then please kindly feel free to exit the meetup. Sorry about that, but this is recorded. And I also just want to mention that this is an inclusive environment. This is something that I feel really strongly about. Those of you know me, I have a autistic child with ADHD, and so I'm part of the movement to empower people with disabilities. And I don't see enough of that in our profession. I really don't. And so one of my dreams would be to have more financial advisors doing the job from wheelchairs, deaf, blind, any kind of neurological disorder, So I want to mention, though, that if you would like to enable captions, Zoom captioning, not sure if everybody can see this here, but there is actually a little bit of there's like a little button at the bottom of your screen, and it should say enable captions. Let me see if I can show you that, if this is following it. It should say live transcript. I don't know if everybody can see that or what. So we're going to get started here. And just a few group announcements. The first one is that there is a slip sheet that I made. This is free. Okay, so I'm going to enable live transcription. There's a flat fee slip sheet that's available, and it just talks, it's for you to use for marketing yourself if you have a flat fee practice, and just ask me for it. I've posted it into our group as well. You could just ask me for the slip sheet and I'll send it over to you. Another thing I just wanted to mention is that there's a little bit of an outreach effort that I'm involved with. I've been going around to various college campuses and trying to get speaking engagements. I'm not charging anybody for this, but I've been speaking about transparency and about becoming a financial advisor in the right kind of a way. Not necessarily going into a wirehouse or an insurance program, but speaking to college students. That way we can just restrict the amount of college students that are predatorily shepherded into insurance and wirehouse programs. And so the colleges have been very receptive to this, and I just would please encourage all of you, please contact your alma mater. I hate my alma mater, but I will still, I've still spoken with them about this. I've contacted all of my New York schools. You could even do it virtually. If somebody would like me to speak at your alma mater or a college that one of your children or grandchildren goes to, this is something that I'm doing, but I think that all of us should be doing this. So I would just ask all of you to please consider being an advocate for the younger up and coming generation of advisors. So there's a flat fee slip sheet that's available for marketing, free. Anybody contact me if you want it. I'm going to make more slip sheets, but I need you to tell me what it is that you need me to do. Somebody had asked me for an advice only slip sheet. I was working on that. I was also thinking of doing a flat fee website guide. I'm going to be making some like pencil sketches and some graphics that you could also use in your marketing as a flat fee or advice only or our hourly planner. There's a mentorship program. If you are in need of a mentor, please contact me and I will circulate within our group and try to find somebody that would be suitable. I also wanted to mention that there is an accountability buddy program within our group. So sometimes it could be really helpful to just have somebody that could keep you on track, and that you can kind of check in with once a week and just keep each other on schedule with what you're doing. So I'm willing to do that as well. I could pair you up and find you somebody within the group that is also a flat fee or whichever type of advisor you are. So the other thing I thought would be good just to keep everybody on track is we're going to be discussing websites in this meetup. So I wanted to provide an opportunity for you to actually get tangible results based on what we're discussing. What I wanted to do was just give you a homework assignment of making certain changes to your websites based upon what we discussed, what I'm about to teach you in this meetup. And you could submit it to me for review. So just giving it to give things a little bit more of a focus to have an executable task that everybody can work on after this meetup so that we can every meeting make some progress, because as I've said before, and I'm so enthusiastic about this, I want to thank you all for being here. It is my sincere goal to create what our industry has never seen and what the country has never seen before, which is the country's and in all of history, the best financial advisors that have ever existed. I know that that's a very lofty goal, but I'm not one to back down from a challenge. And I'm very confident that the people that are here have the talent and the will to do this. And I certainly know that I do. And so I'm humbled and thankful for you being here and being on this mission with me. And let's just do exactly what I said. So one of the things that would be helpful is, and I don't have the ambition of growing this to be the largest organization, but I would like us to kind of spread the word about this group. If you, and I would like to do this meaningfully. So if there are people that you see in your networks that are financial advisors, or maybe even up and comers, even college students that you know of that would be good candidates for being in our group, I think it would be great if, sorry, everybody, I have people kind of filtering in. Excuse me. So I think it would be wonderful if you could share news of this group with your networks or with circles that you're in, which would attract more matching people that could be good. So having said that, sorry for talking so much. Let's get started with the meetup part, shall we? Let's have everybody go around and unmute yourselves and just introduce yourself and say your name. Now we got to keep it brief because we've got a lot of people here. Say your name and one sentence, and then that's it. Go ahead. Who's first?
I'll go first. My name is Rochelle Hofer. I am in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We're just getting ready to launch a practice February 24th of 2023.
Awesome, Rochelle. Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Skip Fleming in Colorado Springs, Colorado, an hourly only advisor.
Great. Who's next?
I'm Paul Barry with Middle Street Capital, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I'm a low fee, primarily index fund portfolio manager and been in the business a couple decades.
My name is Jacob George. I live in Bella Vista, Arkansas, and I joined RIA a couple of years ago on the side.
My name is Steve Wintermeyer with Fenway Financial in Boston. I'm here with my spouse and business partner, Carrie Catlin. We run a fixed fee and hourly practice, and I'm very happy to see Sarah taking the initiative on this. I actually wrote a book 8 years ago called Grand Theft Portfolio about exactly what the wirehouses were doing to the United States investors. So I appreciate this effort.
That is awesome. And thank you so much for being here, all of you.
I love that book title. I'm Matt Gelfand. I have my own RIA practice in Bethesda, Maryland. At this point, I have fixed fee clients. I also offer services by the hour, and for the traditional clients who want money management by AUM, I'll do that too, but I try to keep my fees low.
I'm Brian McCluskey. I'm right outside of Philadelphia, transitioning into the flat fee model. I'm just so excited to be here because I too love to keep my fees reasonable and definitely low for clients.
Mark Meredith. I'm located in Southwestern Illinois, and I started my RIA in 2019.
Glenn Frank, the Boston area, been fee only since '85. Been an academic forever, love to teach, love all this stuff, tremendous initiative, good stuff.
I'm Sandy Chassell. I'm an advisor, coach, and practice development consultant. And I love what you're doing, Sarah. Sorry I jumped on before. But
No,
it
that's
was
okay.
kind
I
of-
just roll with the punches, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I wish we could like kind of Brady Bunch and go like in a line. So I think that would be maybe a little bit easier. Who wants to go next? Kevin, did you already go?
I'm not. I'm Kevin Estes. I'm in the Seattle area. I've got an RIA that I'm launching here very soon.
Good luck. Congratulations. Let me know how I can be of help to you. Woohoo! David?
Hey, David Barfield. I launched my practice back in January. I'm a flat fee advice only planner. Primarily, my clients are younger, earlier in the accumulation phase. So that's me.
Welcome, David. And Richard Chen.
Hi, Rich Chen. I'm in New York. I run a law firm and compliance consulting practice serving RIAs. I'm passionate about serving and just excited to be with all of you today.
Richard is, just for the full disclosure, Richard is actually my lawyer. And he's probably like the only person from Harvard that I like. Sorry, I don't mean to offend everybody, but you know me, I never hold back.
No,
Oh my
and I
gosh,
love the
so-
inclusiveness too, just so people know I'm completely blind. So, but I'm passionate about serving, and thanks for the kind words, Sarah.
You betcha. And folks, please, it really is in my heart. Inclusion is the future. And I know that it's so easy. I live with someone who has ADHD and autism, and we've been through a lot, but I can just say that it's been so rewarding for me because it's gotten me out of the box that I think I would always have been in. And so I just want to encourage you, please, when you see somebody with a disability, just don't be afraid to talk to them. It's okay. You might not know how to do it all right, but just make the effort and you'll figure it out, because there's so much there that is just untapped. And I just want to bring marginalized people into the center, and especially the center of our future, because society has so much to gain from that. So next, Chris, did you already go?
Not yet. So I'm Chris Randall. I launched my independent RIA, Access Capital Management, January of this year out of Los Angeles, California. I run a flat fee RIA with a subscription model for millennials and small businesses. And I'm still trying to recover from the idea that Sarah doesn't drink caffeine, that she told us that earlier. If this is you uncaffeinated, I can't even imagine.
I know, and believe it or not, like you do get a kind of filtered down version of me. Like those of who know me outside of like Sarah G on social media and webinar and stuff, like when you know me one-on-one, I'm like 3 times as much, and I don't even know how my friends deal with me in real life. Anyways, Brian Thorpe, oh my God, here you are, hi.
Hey, thanks for the invite, Sarah. I'm Brian Thorpe, founder of wealthtender.com. We are a website focused on empowering consumers to find an advisor based upon what's most important to their individual needs and where zip code isn't the primary factor in their search. We're also the first financial advisor online review platform designed to be fully compliant with the new SEC marketing rule.
Well, that will make the lawyer on the call very happy, Brian. And
Absolutely.
I'm sure yours as well. So I just want to, I just said like a 1-sentence rule, but I have to break my own rules here. Brian, how do flat fee advisors, like how do all these advisors like get on your platform so everyone can find out about them?
Well, I will be happy to include a link in the chat. It's a very affordable monthly cost. There's no long-term commitment. Very generous of you to open this up with a sales pitch, which was obviously not the intent. But, again, one of the big things that we're focused on is helping create awareness amongst consumers for advisors that have alternative compensation models, whether it's flat fee advice only. And I see a couple of advisors, actually a few, who are on the platform. And one of the things that we've done over the last 3 years building out the platform is really a strong emphasis on SEO to drive a lot of traffic to the platform and create a lot of awareness. So excited to participate here because transparency is a big part of what we're focused on as well, and look forward to answering any questions for anybody here in the community.
Okay, financial advisors, I just said this because I need you all to understand something. That in the future, People are going to be increasingly looking for your services. And you are the new fee model. You are the fee model of the future. And I want to be very clear with you that in the last month, I've been contacted by 4 people looking for a flat fee advisor. And I am not a financial advisor, but I have a blog about flat fee advisors that's ranking very highly on Google. So I want to be very clear with you that it is not something that I'm making up. It is not something that is going to require a large investment of capital on your part, but it is extremely powerful. And these people are not minuscule. These are millionaires, okay, qualified, have needs that you can help them with. That if you built a practice serving these people would be a very nice practice. Okay, so when I say that I want to build the best financial advisors in the country, what I mean is this way of marketing, SEO, I'm successful at it, Brian's successful at it. That is all that you need. I'm not saying to go hire Brian or go to his service. I'm saying I could teach you today how to do this. I know how to do it. And I know how to teach people. But you, each of you, if you want to do it, you have to do it yourselves, or you have to hire somebody. But if you want to do it for free and learn, I'm willing to teach you. And it's powerful as hell. Okay. So thank you, Brian. Jen from Boston. Should we come
I am
back?
Jen from Boston. I'm a business transformer and I've been in the industry too long to tell you.
It's funny because she's kind of like my alter ego. Like I'm from Boston. I live in New York. She's from New York. She lives in Boston. Like how did we kind of.
That's right. And I can talk as fast as her.
Brain cell, brain cell. I have it, or you have my brain or something. It's good. I don't know where my brain is. So I guess you have, okay. Jen Goldman. Okay. Who's next? Skip, you already went. Josiah.
Thank you, Sarah. Hey, everyone. I come from the consumer side. I went through the process of looking for a financial advisor, and that's how I found out about flat fee financial advisors. And I'm really passionate about it, and launched a platform called AmericanAdvisor.us that helps people find flat fee financial advisors.
Woohoo! Another one. Yes. Okay. Sandy, we already did. Oh my gosh, Cody Garrett is here.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, homeboy?
Hey, what's up? The smack is back. So I'm advice only. I serve DIY investors on the path to early retirement within 5 years. Every household pays the same fee for the same service and process. And as of January of this year, I referred away about 20 clients per week with an average of $2.5 million investable. So when advisors tell me like advice only, like, isn't sustainable, scalable, profitable, it's all BS. And I'm glad that you're all here to continue learning about the reality of what's happening.
Yes. Thank you, bro. Great to hear from you. So thank you for being part of us. John Morgan.
Hi, everybody. My name's John. I am an advocate for transparency, number one. I'm a former advisor, and I do fractional business development now and try to spread goodwill. And I'm a good friend, our friend of Sarah and Richard on the call, and I know Jen as well. It's good to see everybody.
Welcome. And next we have Mr. Solaski.
Hey everybody, my name is Scott Solaski. I'm the founder and CEO of First Metric, an investment and advisory firm. We provide low-cost investment management, financial advice and guidance as needed, and do it all for a fixed flat fee of $4.95 a month.
Flat fee success story for you. Thank you, Scott, for being here.
You're welcome.
Canute.
Good afternoon. I'm Knut Rostad, Bethesda, Maryland. I founded and run the Institute for the Fiduciary Standard, which is in the sole business of advancing fee-only fiduciary advice before the regulators and different publics. And if Sarah, if you want me to say something about NASA and what's happening in the States later on, I'll be glad to do so. I've had a couple of conversations since we spoke, but I don't want to take over your agenda.
Group, I'm sorry, but I would like Canute to speak on this because it's extremely important to our future. Could you just speak briefly though, like maybe 2 to 3 sentences?
Yes, 2 to 3
sentences. You see me going
sentences.
like this?
The state securities administrators actually understand what it means to be a fiduciary. So that's the good news. The not so good news is they don't understand this flat fee model, and have raised questions with those with XYN know about this because Michael Kitsis has been out there. And so I have reached out to NASA, and actually in the next several days, we'll have a couple of conversations to better understand what is their concern, because on its face, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'll stop.
Okay, thank you. Ross.
This is Bill Hines at Iwan Sapari. I'm pretty new here. My wife and I started the RIA about a year ago. We come out of the financial counseling area, so down the trenches, helping people with debt remediation and all that hard stuff. And we couldn't find any advisors that were ethical, affordable, and understandable. So we did this and found this like-minded community. So we're very happy. And Richard, just ask those regulators one question. Is it fiduciary? Are we being fiduciary if we charge people more just because they have more, right?
Yeah, no, it's a very good point. And as Knut was saying, some of the regulators are not understanding this. Notably, Colorado is one of those states. And I mean, we can get into it now, Sarah. We can talk about it later.
Can we talk about that later?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Matthew.
Yeah, hi, Matt Etzler. I am in the real Northern California, have an RIA that I started in 2015. Work on subscription basis and project basis, all based on hourly. So that's how we operate.
Matt Pruitt.
All right. Turns out there's more than one Matt out there. Nice to see some familiar faces on here. I launched my RIA this summer in Minneapolis. I'm flat fee, but I do have a few different buckets based on complexity. It's one thing I would love to network with other people about, especially people that serve clients across the age groups. And I personally work with people with equity compensation. So trying to, understand how to set up a few different buckets, and would love to hear some experiences from others if they have similar models.
Danielle.
I am Danielle Harmon. I own an RIA in South Carolina, and I'm hourly and flat fee.
Wonderful. Danielle, thank you for being here. Barry Flagg. I feel like the teacher. I feel like I should be like, okay, everybody, take out your pencils. It's time for a math class.
Hey, Sarah, good to talk to you again. I'm Barry Flagg. I founded a company by the name of Veralytic. Came from the investment business first, used Morningstar as a 19-year-old kid in a fee-only practice, found life insurance to be the most opaque of all assets on clients' balance sheets. So we strive to provide financial advisors with the same information for life insurance that they readily get from things like Morningstar for mutual funds. Interested in anything having to do with transparency movement, since life insurance is the most opaque of all assets on clients' balance sheet.
Amen to that, bro. Who's next? Eric, did you already go? Sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but like I have 50 people here and I think I forgot who already introduced himself.
No worries, if in case there's another Eric. Eric Kirsty, I founded or co-founded Savvy Advisors with a fintech firm, Savvy Wealth, earlier this year. The lead advisor for the team, growing fast. Most of business in the past had been AUM, have been converting to more of a flat fee, some complexity fee based, worked with business owners and pre-retirees, retirees, and so forth. So looking forward, again, here for feedback and networking.
Who's next?
I'll go next. I'm Ross Duga. I'm planning to open up my own business in a couple of months. Working on the CFP program now. Planning to do a small subscription, hourly model, advice only.
That's wonderful, Ross. Thank you for being here with us. And I hope that our teachings are inspirational and informative to you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
I'll jump in. Hi, my name is Jordan. I'm another entrepreneur in the space. I helped create Rally, We're a platform for exclusively flat fee financial advice. We built Rally to work as a free market for advice and work exclusively with flat fee to deliver unbiased advice to investors across the United States. If anyone is interested in joining, I'll definitely post a link in the chat. So yeah, and we're working on our client marketing right now, so expecting to ramp up our traffic. But excited. Thank you, Sarah, again for putting on this event.
Jordan, welcome. Jacob George. Did you already go?
I have.
Okay,
Thank you.
goodbye. Okay, next, who's next? Dwight Detloff.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dwight. I'm out in Boulder, Colorado. So yes, I'm like big into when I got registered, I had a heated conversation with the regulators about subscription models and flat fees. So as of right now, I primarily do like one-time initial plans similar to what Cody's doing. And I have a few clients that are either in retirement or very close to retirement that I still do on an AUM basis just because of sort of the mess with Colorado. So, but yeah, so I primarily work with younger professionals, like Gen X or later millennials, and then those that are kind of getting closer to retirement. And I'm a CPA by trade, so I've never sold a life insurance policy in my life, I guess.
Okay, did anybody not go?
Hi, I'm Andrew Kleinberg, Grand Central Financial Planning. I've been in business since 2019, and I'm a flat fee advisor.
Andrew, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Andrew, by the way, has a great bio. He has a great biography on his website. And I posted about it actually into my LinkedIn group. And the reason because we're talking about marketing today. So, and plus it's my webinar. And so I can do anything I want. Just kidding. But I love Andrew's bio. And the reason is that it discusses the meaning of being a flat fee advisor, but not just from the standpoint of the fee is flat, but he talks about the reduction of conflict of interest and how and why it's in the best interest of the client. I just would encourage you, Andrew, please just let me know if like you're not okay with this, but can people like go to your website and look at your bio?
Yeah, there's nothing I can do to stop them, so sure.
Okay, well anyways, just go to Grand Central, what is it, Grand Central Capital?
Grand Central Financial Planning.
Oh, see, there we go. Okay, I'm making you into a hedge fund. Okay, Grand Central Financial Planning. And or maybe I'll just post it into the chat later. I don't know, but I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Bob V.
Hi, I'm Bob V, and I publish inside information, and I'm mostly just curious what the heck is going on here.
So am I. Well, everybody knows Bob Beers, so thank you so much for being here. Okay, now I'm going to start in actually on what the questions were. So I have a lot to teach, but I'm just going to go in terms of like what y'all told me that you want to know about from this meetup. So the question is, what has worked in terms of marketing? Let's start with that.
I can start real briefly.
Yes.
Everybody hear me? Cool. Yeah, giving. The most effective marketing is giving, not asking, right? So how can you provide value to the people that you want to serve without being like, hey, here's a little bit of information, and if you want to know more, set up a free consultation. So just give away as much as possible without expecting anything in return, because the core values of everybody in this group, I believe, is generosity and transparency, which are the two things that are missing from the industry as a whole. So if you're just more generous with giving, whether it's education or however you prefer to give to the families that you serve, do that, and that will just in itself become a differentiator versus the traditional industry.
Okay, so I just want to comment on that for a minute. One of the reasons that you see financial advisors marketing all looking the same is that there is a lack of generosity, and often I believe the way marketing is sold in that it's, oh, we have to set up a content calendar and we have to do this with regularity. And a lot of times it's to the benefit of the marketing firm because they then get you on the hook for having a podcast indefinitely. or having to publish to social media on a regular basis. And it's not that I'm going to say that consistency isn't important, but I would rather have you do something really deep that goes beyond and that is the best than to do more. Okay, so, and I think that that goes with what Cody is saying, and Cody's been very successful, but I mean, let me just ask you, Cody, you started this about 1.5 years ago. You struck out on your own, right?
Yeah.
What was it like? Because I think a lot of people are in that position of starting to build up a following. What was that like for you when you had 0 Twitter followers or no views on your blog? Like, how did you come out of that? You know what I mean?
I never created content to find clients. I had a sense of urgency to share what I knew with people I knew, like really need to know the information. So I started creating content, educational content, actually without an expectation to find clients at my old firm. Within 6 months of just having a genuine curiosity about people within the community I serve, which is like the financial independence community, plus a sense of urgency to share what I knew with them, without ever mentioning I'm an advisor, never mentioning I'm looking for clients. Within 6 months of that, 4 to 5 clients reached out, or your prospective clients reached out. I serve the anti-advisor community, like people who do not trust advisors, period. Right. So to gain trust from that community really took doing something very different in terms of not, again, like I would say the best way to market is just to be remarkable, right? Which is doing the opposite of what we've been traditionally taught. I know, Sarah, you do. You're flipping marketing completely upside down in terms of just seeing marketing solely as a way to find clients, make more money. You're actually saying, let's actually serve people in our marketing, not just say market and then serve them once they become clients.
And that goes with the idea of generosity, right? So for us to be the best, everybody, for us to be the best, we have to push into the market. We have to push to the public information that is not self-serving, that puts the client's sincere questions, and even the questions that they don't have, but that is empathetic and sees it from their point of view. And in that sense, will be more objective than what the machine is doing. Okay, because I'm showing to all of you an example of a person who set himself apart from the machine. And that was how he did it, was a higher focus on the questions, the motivations, and the mindset of the client. Would you agree with that, Cody?
Absolutely, yeah. You cannot do effective marketing until you know in as much detail as possible, who do I serve and how do I provide value to them? And I kind of a caveat there is that I don't think we define value. Value is defined by the client, right? So just you have to know who you serve, how you want to serve them before you can start creating content that's going to be effective. So I put a link in here. It's a YouTube video of how just my own, it's not like my way is the only way, but I just share my experience with how I use social media and generosity to build a thriving financial planning business. So you can watch that like on a, at a future time.
Well, I think there's a lot of validity in that. So does anyone else have a story about that? Because so we're seeing that Cody did this through content, through the creation of content that got him out of the box and set him apart. Okay. Does anybody else have a story about this from the group? I'm not here. I don't want to talk the whole time. So I'm going to need somebody who's been successful at this to speak about it, if you can. If not, then we can move on to the next question.
Yeah, Sarah, this is Scott. I agree with Cody. I think, I heard a saying a long time ago, and I kind of try to do everything in my business and in the way I operate kind of along this. And I'll sort of butcher this a little bit, but it's kind of like give away everything for free that people want, but actually help them with what they need. So I think that's the thing out there is there's a lot of stuff that people, they need answers to right away, and they might have questions about. And if you can provide that in the form of content for free, again, not on a content schedule or anything like Sarah was talking about, which is kind of what marketing firms tend to do, but just be genuine and be out there and provide free answers. I mean, a lot of times the way that my process works, and I hate even the word process, but I typically have an introductory call with a potential client or someone that's just interested in what I'm doing. And when I do that, I'm not shy at all answering questions for them if you don't have to do a deep dive to do some basic stuff. I mean, if these are basic things like, should I do X or Z, and they don't involve specific investments and they don't involve specific, tax, analysis or any deep dive, point them in the right direction. Here's a book, or here's a pamphlet, or here's somebody else's blog, or here's somebody else's YouTube video, go watch it and then come back and let's re-engage. So, the more, and I've known this for 20 years and I practice sort of what I preach in this, is that if you know that these resources exist, I just refer them out to these. And again, I believe in karma, everything comes back around. So I very much agree with Cody's approach to the way that he's built his business so far. And that's, in my opinion, the right way to do it.
I appreciate that, Scott. And yeah, alongside that, I mean, you can certainly create content for like the niche that you serve. I love, like Dr. Jay Zygmunt put in the comments here. Like, yeah, once you know who you serve, it's much more effective in terms of marketing. But what Scott, you're saying too, though, is that you can even like if somebody isn't like the ideal client for you, if you are, truly generous, you're going to provide resources or like, another, you're going to help them, whether it's with you or with somebody else. And ultimately, yeah, everybody wins, right? So even if they don't work with you and you help them provide resources, guess what? Like that's going to branch out into their conversations with other people and spread the word, not just of what you do, but spread the word of how you do it. And again, this is going to be, it's just a compounding effect of generosity.
Oh, absolutely. I agree, Cody, 100%. I think, what ends up happening when you do that is that even if you don't end up working with a potential person that reaches out to you, whether it's email or phone conversation or whatever, just be able to point them in the right direction, provide free resources, whether it's, again, you doing that or others that have done it. You just don't know where future potential clients come from that actually fit the niche and the business that you're trying to develop. So I've seen this successful over the last 20 plus years, and it does work.
If I could add a quick 2 cents here, is a lot of this resonates with me because we come from that financial counseling background where we're dealing with people that have been burned a lot, they've been taken advantage of by getting locked into horrible stuff like really bad annuity contracts and things like that. And it's the thing that really brings them in is transparency and clarity. Like Cody says a lot, fees should be on the website, right? So if somebody goes to a shoe store, looks at a pair of shoes and says, $70, yeah, I think these shoes are worth that. Or if they have a leaky washer and they call over some plumbers and they get quoted and they know what it's going to cost them to get this work done. And they can say in their mind, is it worth that? But with advisors, with AUM, we're pulling out calculators and trying to figure all this stuff out. We lose them a lot that way. And so by having that clarity and that transparency, here's what it's going to cost you. It's month to month. You're not locked in. If I'm doing a bad job, you can just leave. Those kind of things really help for a lot of people to get over that trepidation, at least if they've been burned before with any kind of sketchy financial or other types of things that they've got themselves involved in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bill. I mean, I think, the transparent and clearancy, at least from my perspective, not sit here and kind of tout what I've done, but go to my website and look at the fee page. I mean, it's as clear as it can be. If your fee page on your website, first of all, you should have a fee page, as Bill said. But if you don't have a fee page, I'd consider seriously getting one to make sure your fees match your ADV. But I think, when you look at that, I think what we all tend to do as advisors, since we're kind of analytical as well as entrepreneurial, is we tend to overanalyze kind of everything. So basically going out there and putting too many words on a page. So if you have more than a paragraph, and even that's too much, then you're trying to over-explain your fees, and people are not going to understand this. I mean, there's always room to go dive into the details later. But again, it should be as clear as can be on your website. That's my personal opinion.
Right. So can y'all see this right here? Can everybody see this website, firstmetric.com? Thank you. Okay. So he's addressing, again, this is very empathetic because he's addressing our fees are simple to understand, not based on the value of your assets. Okay. So here he has the fee. And then he describes in bullet points what that is. And the other thing that's important is that he describes here also that this isn't even a complete sentence, Scott. Investment management use, look, like, can I get a verb tense here? Anyways, but investment management, low cost index funds and ETFs. So he's making it clear. I mean, I think someone would kind of have to know what those are, but he's being clear also about how the money is managed, so that will detract from, that will take away a lot of the fears as well. I mean, if, you know, the overall fee is one thing, the fee to the advisor is one thing, but then, I mean, what is, are you going to invest in is it an SMA? Is it going, are we going to use direct indexing? Sometimes people say we're going to be doing automated tax loss harvesting. Could that be direct indexing? What's the additional layer of fees? It's the layers, the embedded fees that can freak people out too. So what he's doing here is he's being very clear that there is only one layer. Well, he's being clear about what the second layer would be, and then it's low cost.
Can I ask a quick question, Scott?
Yeah.
Not just to you, but of anybody, in addition to the clarity in what you put on your website, do you also supplement that on a quarterly, or could even be an annual basis? Dear Mr. and Mrs. Jones, last quarter or last year, this is what you got. Boom, 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 boom. So that there's something that is unique to them that maybe goes just one level more in detail. And I'm not talking about creating a 20-page report. I'm thinking about a 1 or 2 page bullet summary on a quarterly or biannual basis. Is that,
Yeah, so you're talking about like just kind of a summary of what did I do for you last quarter?
Well,
type?
Exactly. And,
yeah, I don't do that today, and I've heard that, and I think that is a good idea. It's just it's one of these things where I think we all can sympathize with this. It's a factor of time and prioritization and that. But I think that's a great idea.
But I think as I look at it, and you guys have already said it, I don't have to restate it. It's transparency, it's clarity, and the good side is the other side literally does not have a clue about how much that resonates. They are so far away from this, they don't have a clue. But anyway, so, and as it relates to, I think one of NASA's concerns, I think that might better address it. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, every other quarter, every 6 months, get this 1 or 2 page bullet points to remind them what you did, what we did for them. And anyway, that's my question. That was my question.
No, I think it's great. I mean, I don't do that personally today. It's something I've explored doing, is just prioritizing.
I got it. Thank you.
I'm going to show you also. This is the homepage of Scott's website. So stop overpaying financial advisor fees. I mean, it's clear. I mean, everybody talks about like the value proposition. I don't know, that's like so much of a value proposition as much as it's just kind of a statement of his mission and values. So again, I like the minimal wording here. There's a lot of white space, and I wouldn't say that you should design your website exactly like this, but the concept of, if you're going to be a transparent advisor, flat fee, clarity, transparency, modesty, all of these things, then you kind of got to look like it too. And for me, this visually creates that feeling in me when I see this website. What he's saying, it's like, could I believe that this advisor is somebody who is clear in his communication? Yes, I could, because he's very clear, upfront, direct, all of that. And those are the values of the movement and what is behind being one of these advisors, an advisor like this, right? And he's conveyed.
I paid Carl Richards for that picture, so I'm not stealing intellectual property.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody else have any other advice for what's worked for them?
I just wanted to put in a vote for real life connections and help. As my social media and digital presence has been ramping up, I haven't gotten too many leads or too many prospects online, but I have found that being available in real life, meeting people through various avenues and just listening to what they're going through and trying to help them with any information or anything you can provide them will kind of have an impression on them. Even if they don't end up hiring you, they will sing your praises to other people. And I think in this digital age, sometimes the in real life experience has been put on the back burner. And for anybody who's trying to, generate more leads or just kind of get your name out there, it can't be discounted, the power of meeting people in person.
But yes, and you can absolutely link that up with your work online too. They don't have to be exclusive. In fact, when you're at the networking event, you might want to say, hey, I'm on LinkedIn, let's connect, and connect with them right there. Just get your phone out and be like, let me just find you on LinkedIn and connect with you after you have a conversation with somebody, and just get it done right then and there. It's useful. I mean, I have a million things to say about LinkedIn. I have a whole series on my blog of blogs about LinkedIn, almost everything that you could ask me about LinkedIn. It's on my website for free. So I would encourage you to go to my website and type the word LinkedIn into the search box on my blog. One of the tips I would say is when you do go in-person networking, like Chris is saying, have your name on LinkedIn be how you introduce yourself at the networking event. So if you're like Chris Randall and you introduce yourself as Chris Randall, don't be on LinkedIn as like Christopher James Randall the third. You know what I mean? Like actually make it easy, right? But that's a thing, because if I go and I say, oh, I'm gonna go connect with Christopher James tonight when I go on LinkedIn, and then I start to type in Christopher James Randall, and I'm like, well, I don't know, there's a Chris Randall. It's kind of, and it's just general tips about LinkedIn I could give you I'll just give you some very quick tips so that we could get on with everything else. But if I had to tell you the 5 most important things about LinkedIn, it would be have a good LinkedIn page, meaning the top of the page is what people look at. So I don't have mine up here, but let me get mine up so I could show you.
Hey, while you're bringing that up, I just want to say what Sarah's doing today with us is a perfect example of what we can do for the niches that we serve as financial advisors. So the way that Sarah gives, and I didn't sign up for this webinar, I don't think, right? Like I didn't pay for it, right? Like this is just one example of what we can do specifically for the clients that we serve.
Well, I think a lot of people sign up for this just because I'm such a big mouth that they get tired. They're all right, I'll shut her up, I'll sign up for it. But thank you so much. Okay, but so I'm going to give you a very quick LinkedIn tutorial. Okay, everybody. By the way, this is on replay, so you might have to watch this again, or like I said, it's on my website. But like, first of all, have this right here, like a little banner right here. Can you see the pointer, or am I just like circling and no one's even seeing? You could say, okay, thanks. So like right here, this is the banner. Have something exciting. Don't have it be like the retired couple sipping champagne on the yacht. Okay. This is like my heart right here. Like this says what I am, okay? And that's what you should do. Like just having your company name is like Blue Black Oak River Valley Wealth Management. Like, sorry, but you know what I think of financial advisor firm names, right? Okay, so have it be interesting, colorful, a call to action is great. This is the part of the LinkedIn page that gets the most attention. Party people, listen to what I just said. The top of your LinkedIn page gets the most attention. It should be flawless. Good tagline, like mine here is the leopard of LinkedIn marketing for financial advisors, a little picture of a leopard. Good to include like a little one of those simple things. You could copy it from the messaging part, the emojis that come up in the messaging. You could do that. Headshot. This isn't the best headshot, but I don't know. I haven't had time to redo it, but I would like to have one where I'm actually like looking at the camera. I don't know if that was in my like, what, heavy metal Janis Joplin days or something, who knows, right? Okay, so then this contact info here, I can't tell you how many times I want to smash the screen when I go to somebody's contact info and I have no idea how to even email them. Now, this is not my this is my junk email. This is not my work email. This is not my real email, but I have an email and I do check it, right? So always have your website, always have your email. you don't have to have your phone if you don't want people calling you. I don't want people calling me, so I don't have it, but contact info, title, good headshots, and a good banner. And then right here, this is a gift, y'all. Tell people, you know, and I'm just like about to warn everybody because I don't want people following me. And then, I mean, I get enough hate as it is, but I don't want people following me and thinking like we're going to be friends and they're going to like love me. I'm very upfront. I'm highly disapproved of and not for everyone, which by the way is a very enticing first line. If you say something like that, like I've had people be like, I hate that, financial advisors be like, I hate all financial advisors, which was key in how I designed my practice serving wealthy individuals in Sonoma County. Okay. So like say something, I just like, okay, this is, I want you to be the best. I want you to get a lot of attention, shock the hell out of people. Okay. Just do, it doesn't even, I mean, you obviously know you don't say anything like over the line, right? And you know what, you all know what I mean by that. But just say something and don't be afraid to be different right away because people have a short attention span. Warning. Just use my warning labels. Just say warning. I'm the one finding what you are about to read will probably convince you that you need more financial advice than you think or something like that. Who knows? My name is Sarah G, blah, blah. And then a call to action right away before I'm at the scroll. Y'all, this is like a really important tip here. You have to get to the important information before the scroll button. See this here? See more. You don't want them to have to click that because they probably won't. Because that's how impatient people are. Assume that they will be impatient. Does anyone have children? You know, assume that they have this right, okay? The attention span of a 4-year-old when they read this. And it's not that I'm trying to be condescending to anybody, but in business, a lot of us do because they have more important things and you haven't proven your value. Okay, so the top of the page is what matters the most in LinkedIn. Now, in terms of posting, I'll tell you right away. I mean, this is where I get into like, I do have well, I'm not even going to describe what I do for a living, but there are services I provide that I'm not going to describe, but I will tell you, give you an overview of it. And it's that if you want to be successful on LinkedIn, I'm going to tell you about how the algorithm works. You should all know this. When you post, there's what we call the golden hour. And you should get as many engagements as possible within that first hour. LinkedIn gets so many postings that they can't, people, you have to understand how the algorithm works if you're going to be successful on LinkedIn, because I wasn't really that successful until I understood this. Not telling you to game it, I'm telling you to understand it. That you have basically an hour to get as much engagement as possible because there are so many posts that LinkedIn doesn't know what to put up. So they have to have a formula where they say, okay, I'm going to have the algorithm look at everybody's posting after 1 hour. And if after 1 hour, I see a certain amount of likes, shares, or comments on that posting, then I'm going to take that and I'm going to serve it up to more than 10% of that person's network. So originally when it goes out, I have 12,000 followers. My postings don't go out to 12,000 people. They go out to how many? 10% of that. So after the 1,200 people see it, in 1 hour, the first hour it goes to 1,200 people. 1,200 people see my posting in their feed. After 1 hour, LinkedIn looks, and if it got a lot of likes, then LinkedIn takes that and serves it up to maybe 10% more. So maybe like 2,400 see it after 2 hours. And then it multiplicatively goes on, and that's how things go viral. So what you should do is get as much engagement. And this is why the first line of the posting is the most important. It should be the shocker line, right? And then hold their attention with the second line, get them to read more or get them to take some action. Like you want, the ideal thing is you want them to comment. Okay, this is the biggest piece of information you need to understand about LinkedIn. If you want to get attention on LinkedIn, you have to get people to talk about what you post. This goes for everybody on here, lawyers, the software people, the advisors. All LinkedIn wants to do is for you to be the center of a party. LinkedIn wants to keep everybody on the block. So if you're the house at the party with the, tequila and the Tostitos and the salsa and everyone's dancing, okay, that's LinkedIn's going to send people to your house. But if you're the party at the house with like no food and no music and nothing, and no one's going to want to engage, everyone's going to leave the party, LinkedIn's not going to send any more people to your house. Okay, that's the analogy I would make. So you want to be the wildest hopping party on there. Now look, again, I don't want you to compromise your morals or your values, but this is what I mean when I say, and I mean it. I don't always do it because, you know, I'm a little energetic and sometimes I get excited about something and I'll just post it out there and not think about it. But if you want to win this game, and I want everyone to win this game to the level that I don't even care, okay, what I have to do, but that's how badly I want you to win, okay? I want you to win. And if that means holding back and creating lower quantity with the higher quality attached to it, I'm good with it. If that means you doing one posting a week of the highest quality, where people are jumping on in that 1 hour, and LinkedIn's going, oh yeah, 10% more, 10% more, 10% more, then that could be your whole work for the week. I'm cool with it, okay? So this is not what everybody else is gonna tell you. But what I'm gonna tell you is, the next LinkedIn posting that each of you do here, I want you to knock people out of their chair. And if you can't come up with something to do that, then I don't want you to post anything. I want you to sit there and think about it and think about it. If I have to review 80 LinkedIn postings before they go out, and you can send it to me, I'll review it, okay? If you want me to review it, I'll review it. But I just don't want crap going out there to make you all look like the rest of the schmucks out there that just want to sell a fixed indexed annuity, okay? I want to go deeper with the knowledge that you're trying to impart to people. And I want you to literally, I want you to think to yourself, is this going to knock them down and knock them out of their chair? Stop the scroll. And if you don't do that, then don't do it. You have my permission. And if some marketing person is harassing you, like that's not enough content for their own self-interest, then I want you to refer your marketing person to me and I will go head to head with them, because I don't care what anybody thinks of me.
Hey, Sarah, to follow up on that point, if you're not really willing to go out there and rock the boat with a bunch of inflammatory comments, and you're a little uncomfortable talking about yourself or a lot of personal matters, but you still want to be helpful, educational, show people what you can do, and provide information that people are looking for in order to drive interest in your posts. Can you touch on some examples of posts that you've seen that have been successful along those lines?
The best thing that you could do is write down the questions that your clients ask you within a week. You should have an open Word document, and after every single meeting, you should write down questions that your clients ask you. This is where I mean, I want the future to be more client focused. I want it to be verbatim what the clients say. Okay, and then go deeper. I want you to find the best solution that any financial advisor has ever written, that the generosity should be off the charts with it, that you should be researching and hitting angles that nobody ever has before, explaining things in a clearer way than anybody ever has before. Social Security COLA, right? That's coming out this month. What are some perspectives on that? What do people ask about that? Does anyone even know what that is? Okay. Here's, you may have heard of the Social Security COLA, but here's what you might not know about it. This, or that.
Is that too dry? Here's the definition of Social Security COLA. Here's how it's going to go up, and here's what you can expect. Like what you're saying is, if you want to be the life of the party, you need to have some excitement, some kind of attention. Like, how do you spice that up a little bit? Because I feel like I've been doing some stuff that's educational, and again, it's still early, but I haven't really been getting a lot of traction. I wonder if it's because my material is too dry.
Chris, maybe you could tell them how many more donuts they can or can't buy.
No, I think that's a good point. I think what people care about is how it impacts them. So less of the technical sort of stuff, and more of why does this directly impact you, and why am I talking about it? I think when you establish that, then you can sort of lead into stuff after that. But I think the first line or first line or two is, why does this matter to me? I think it's critical to have that lead into.
Yeah, like Richard on LinkedIn here, Richard Chen, he has, it doesn't, like Chris, it doesn't mean to be, I mean, I know I'm like wacko, I got like 1 million kids and I was talking about it, right? Like you don't have to be like that. Education is exciting. You know, you want to get people jumping into the party. He has something that no one else has. That would get people to go to the party, right? So like, for example, okay, one thing you could do is challenge an assumption. There's a variety of ways. Many advisors incorrectly, can everybody see Richard Chen's posting, by the way? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Many advisors incorrectly believe they automatically have no fiduciary obligations. However, okay, contrast, the idea of contrast here, okay? True or false? You could do polls or surveys. What I would start doing is getting a sense of your audience by running polls or surveys. Those are the easiest to do, and they get the highest response rate on LinkedIn because people can respond without typing a comment in. A lot of times people, they don't know what to comment, they don't know what to say, they might not be able to comment for compliance reasons. So if you just do a poll or a survey, right? What do you think is going to happen with the Social Security? I don't know if you could do this from compliance reasons, you have to ask for compliance, but like the Social Security COLA this year will be 5%, 10%, 20%. Last one, what is the COLA? Right? So adding humor, it doesn't have to be about, like, it doesn't have to be inflammatory to be funny, right? It turns out I am inflammatory, but that's the way, how old am I now? 45. That's how I've been for 45 years.
I would add, envision who are you actually, like, imagine the exact person you're telling this to. Like, I can't imagine, like, most of the educational content that's very like dry, just like, hey, this is how Social Security works. Like, say it in a way you would actually say it to like a real person in front of you, because that's really who's on the other side of the screen.
Right, and I think Richard, was trying to say something similar, like it's not necessarily about you personally, but as you're talking to that person, making it connect with this ideal person, what they may be going through, what they would find interesting about it, and finding a way to connect to them, if I'm understanding Cody and Richard correctly.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, you always, I think when I put together posts, first I start with what the pain points I see, right, in the practice when I serve advisors, and so I want to share that with everybody because I know that other people are also facing the same thing, right? So that initial sort of lead in to get people to that they can identify that, oh, this is an issue that I should be focused on because it's relevant to my practice. So whenever I sort of think about things, I always sort of take that vantage point and then definitely sort of avoid the technical jargon as much as can be possible, right?
I want to get to some of the other questions that are not marketing, it's kind of marketing related, but not as much. And then I do actually have some like technical content on the website, on websites that I wanted to get to. Does anybody have an objection to proceeding this way? Okay, good. So question here, for people who have changed their fee model over time, what takeaways would they share with someone who's just starting out?
I'll just share an insight, if that's okay, Sarah.
Yeah.
The fact that you feel like you have the direction you want to be in is probably a great first step. And I say that because I've come from my perspective of, I was never comfortable with the 1% model and I was always searching. And now when you have clients at different spots and I haven't exactly gone back and kicked other people out and changed it, my takeaway is that you have potentially a clean slate in front of you, and that's a good thing. It's my take.
All right, but I'm gathering that there's no one on this call who has transitioned a full practice over to a flat hourly or advice only from straight AUM.
I have.
Tony.
I've finally figured out technically what I was doing incorrectly, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. I'm in the process of finalizing that, and it's been an adventure, but I didn't get a chance to, due to my technically shortcomings, but simply tell you that my background is probably a lot longer than Jen's, who was afraid to admit it. My gray hair now matches my length and time, which since is 1970, believe it or not. So I am that old. But I will just share that I'm really excited to just be, at least today, a part of this, and exciting for all the people who are doing what you all are doing. I started my career in financial services, as I tell clients, frankly, in the life insurance industry. And I think there's a great opportunity for people. Well, let's put it a different way. I think too many financial planners are afraid of that. And I understand why, because most of what I'll say, maybe I'm wrong, sir, you could probably speak to it. Most financial advisors zero in on investments. And I think that, in my opinion, in my practice and what I do today for clients and have for that length of period of time, is you're missing the boat. And in my humble opinion, if I know, Sarah, you're outspoken, I would tell you that you're not doing your job. That's just coming from somebody who deals with and has dealt with clients who have died, and I've settled those estates. So I just wanted to jump in with that thought, since I now can figure out how to do it.
Like, what would you say is the key point you want people to take away real quick, Tony? Thank you so much, by the way. This is much appreciated.
Well, very simply, I think if you're selling, you don't short yourself on your fees and what you're charging. Just be prepared to back up what you're going to do, and even if it's beyond your expertise, do the whole plan, do it all, and get help with those parts and areas that you don't have expertise in.
Well,
I'll
that's
leave it at
interesting.
that.
It's a very humble approach, and that's someone you don't hear as much, getting help from someone else.
Yeah, nobody can do it all, and I tried it for years, believe me. Yeah, from
Well,
a state. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the next meetup, we're going to be discussing offering services, operations, technology, et cetera. So I think that actually might be better for the next one, but thank you so much. I really love what you said. Can we have Knut and Richard speak on this next point, please? Recommended disclosures in sales and marketing materials for flat fee practices. Colorado recently highlighted certain disclosures it expects from those who utilize flat fees or subscription fees. But first of all, gentlemen, or anybody else who has knowledge about this, could you please describe to us the regulatory environment and what we need to know about that from a marketing perspective, maybe even?
Sure, Sarah. So I want to give this backdrop, and it's not the regulatory approach is, I think what I agree other people said, requires education, right? Because there's a real lack of understanding what the flat fee and subscription model is, and the Colorado is a good example, right? Basically, in summary, what Colorado is doing is that they are imposing on flat fee and subscription fee-based advisors requirements that don't apply to those who charge on an AUM basis. They've said, sort of through informal guidance, basically they expect flat fee advisors to have specific deliverables for the advice that they're giving, and if you're not in a specific period, that you don't charge fees, right? Which is crazy, and that you can't use words like holistic and comprehensive, or sort of open-ended words that don't have specific deliverables that, to them, right? They don't apply these to the AUM fee models. And I think it's because there's a misunderstanding here, which needs to be corrected, right? Their impression, and I'm just sort of reading between the tea leaves sort of here, so it's sort of my assessment of it, what it is they think, well, okay, if you're charging on an AUM fee basis, that there is work there because you are, quote unquote, trying to build the performance so that you will get paid more, right? There's a number of fallacies in that, right? One, you can just simply do it by, gathering more assets, or you can do that by engaging in riskier, more speculative investments, right? So we know that there are conflicts there, right? But they're not seeing that. What they're concerned about on the flat fee and subscription-based model is, okay, in the absence of that quote unquote incentive to perform in the market, right, is the fact that without specific deliverables, is there a sort of a indication of what the actual service is going to be, right? And so that's why I say that there is an education element to it. It is sort of important to lay out what it is in terms of what you're doing. If you're outside of Colorado, I don't think there are other states. I could be wrong. Some people can correct me if they've seen other states who have raised this issue, but Colorado, as you indicated, has an issue with this. And I think that's why it's really, really important to educate other state securities regulators about this. Thank you. Yeah, Washington is notoriously difficult in a variety of areas, so that doesn't surprise me. But basically, flat fee and subscription-based advisors shouldn't have to be held to a higher standard because of that, right? So that's the landscape you're dealing with, and so it's a new frontier, which invariably requires more education. That's always the way when you sort of are on the frontier or something, right? And I think that once people become more familiar with how this eliminates a lot of the conflicts that you do face with an AUM-based fee model, I think it will be better. But it's one of those things that in the interim period, there is some sort of that regulatory concern that just needs to be sort of alleviated.
I'd like to add a couple of quick things from what Richard said. He right up front, he said something I think was very important in terms of Colorado. And that I have looked at their documents. I've looked at the Kitsis letter, and as I said, on its face, it doesn't make sense. And especially since we know that Michael's been in this discussion with states for a number of years. Yes, this is new. Yes, this is requires education. And yes, what Richard didn't say, but I think is that they've been listening to Fisher advertisements too much. I think that they, in some fashion, actually believe that, and so that plays into this. But I am more hopeful, perhaps a little bit, than Richard, in that again, as a general rule, the states understand where we're coming from as real fiduciaries, as opposed to the other side. They understand that our transparency is far superior to the other side, and so in that sense, I am more perhaps more optimistic. But as I said, I'm going in the next week or two. I'm going to be having a couple of conversations to get a better idea if there's something else going on there at the states. But part of what they focused on in Colorado and they focused on elsewhere is you can't charge a fee if you don't do anything, is sort of what it boils down to. And of course, that is on its face is bewildering. If they expect every month there to be a segment that is associated with a fee, and as opposed to looking back at what has happened over the last 2 quarters or 4 quarters, and again telling Mr. and Mrs. Smith, reminding them in bullet points, so this is what we did, this is what we delivered, this is what you gained, and think of it as an annual contract, so to speak, as opposed to a monthly contract that is easier to pay. So there's this confusion that doesn't make any sense to me, frankly. So anyway, hopefully I'll have more to report in the next month meeting.
Hey, Knut, I just want to add one thing. This is Scott. I've also heard over the last year, it's not just providing services to regulators of what you're doing for clients, but they also want to certain states, and I can't recall which ones because it's sort of limited. So maybe it's all of them right now that are in this kind of mindset. But they also want to kind of cap off what your subscription or hourly fee could be as well, which they don't do for AUM folks.
Right. And yeah, I've heard that too. And that doesn't make sense on its face. And so part of me says I want to drill down and see what else is down beneath the surface on that, because as you say, they don't require of AUM folks. But you know, I'm just guessing, as I said before, that that part of it is just addressing, you know, what did you do for the Smiths in July? What did you do for them in August? And they see that there's a subscription, a monthly subscription there. And so because you know, and this is where we're coming from, at the end of the day, you guys are so much more transparent and so much more clear, you know, on the other side of the aisle, which sometimes I think we forget, you know. Yeah, I don't care how nice a Ameriprise rep is, he or she could for the life of them tell the Smiths what the hell Ameriprise made or what they earned, because this is hidden from them as well. So, you know, that imbalance there is also, I think, relevant, and I think we should remember it, just because we are, you know, I think of this group as part of the 7%, and the 93% are on the other side in one fashion or another. And so that's a context that I think is important to remember. And anyway, so
I just wanted to bring that up because when you're talking to these folks, it's not just like services, but also it's sort of problematic because when you're listing services for them to kind of say, okay, this is justified or not, and then they're putting caps on it, you know, now it's almost like they're putting a value on what you're actually delivering.
Well, yeah. And I think because where they're going there is, I don't think they want to go there. And because what they're going there is telling you what you can charge to do this sort of plan or that sort of plan or this sort of task. And I'm just not believing on the face of it that's where they want to be. Maybe Richard has a different view.
No, I totally agree with that. I think they're really reluctant to get in on freedom of contract.
Right.
I think any regulator is very, very hesitant. Even the SEC is hesitant to do that. Yeah.
And but Scott, you mentioned that, but I think it's Utah and Ohio have actually gotten into how much you can charge on an hourly basis, and they were ridiculously low fees, like $150 an hour or something like that. That I don't see people being able to make a living off of that.
Right.
May I chime in?
Yep.
Sarah, anyone? Very quickly, I had the perhaps misfortune, but fortunate enough to, when I started my IRA 5 years ago, I wound up being audited twice. First by the state of Pennsylvania, and they told me they would be very nice to me. And that turned out, even though everything was A-OK, fortunately, they had no idea that I was in the process of charging fees, because if you looked at my ADV, it showed, here's my cutoff time. Anybody after this date, which was 2018, I will charge a flat fee only for any services that I provide. The Pennsylvania regulator then proceeded to transfer my file down to the state of Delaware, and I went through more pain than you can imagine. But fortunately, I was able to walk my way through the help of my attorney, to get through that process. And there was a legitimate, forgive me, there was a legitimate, I want to say this in a nice way because we're being recorded, heavy discussion about the point of what can I charge and the time it represented it in that whole area conversation of services. The amount of documentation I gave them supported it. And it's very interesting because I then proceeded to, in fact, meet another RIA here in the area, and they turned down his ability to charge a flat fee. So there's a war brewing. And I'll just say that you need proper representation if you're going to be out here charging fees, in my opinion. That's a very short version of what I went through. So anybody wants to contact me, just feel free to do so. And I'll give my name and information to Sarah, and you can check it out through her. Be happy to. I don't want to take up any more time.
You can put it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay,
Assuming I can get the chat information over to you, because I'm technically challenged here. I'll do it. I think I can do it, but go ahead.
okay. Y'all want to talk about websites for a minute? Yeah, okay. So, I want every single advisor in here to kick the competition's butt on Google. Now, I just sent you a website there in the chat, okay? Neil Patel, Uber Suggests. Please go to that website. Please bookmark it, and please save it in your website browser or on your computer. Can you see my PowerPoint right now?
Yep.
Yes. Or no? I'm assuming, okay. There are a few pages. There are a few places on your website that need to have tags or signals on them to tell Google, I'm a flat fee advisor in a certain location, or hourly or advice only, whatever, okay? And the reason is that 300 people a month search on the term flat fee advisor. And a close amount to that search on flat fee advisor near me. Advice only is lower and hourly is much lower. But flat fee advisor, okay, like I want to be clear that wealthy people are searching, 300 of them a month are searching on this in Google. So I'm going to tell you some moves that will help you to be one of the websites that Google pulls up. Now, I just want to have the disclaimer here. I don't know anything about your website. I don't want anyone to mess anything up. Consult with your website person before doing any of this. Now, they're probably going to try to sell you a service of like $800 a month or something like that and convince you. Here's what they're going to say. I'm going to tell all of you what they're going to say when you say these words. They're going to say this back to you. Oh, your website isn't set up for this. You need to do a website upgrade for $30,000. Okay, that's what they're going to say to you when you say this. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Okay, like I said, I'm not your website person, but I'm just going to tell you that that's what they're going to try to do. So you might want to go to Fiverr, Fiverr. No, sorry, Upwork. That was the one where I found my guy. Shank, are you here?
I am here.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize it. Okay, where are you? You want to talk about this right now? Why didn't you speak up when I was talking? Shank is my website guy for 2 years.
Hey, hello everyone. I met Sarah a couple years ago. I run a Chicago-based IT and marketing firm helping a lot of clients, basically, not just with a website, but ongoing content. So early on, if I may touch base, early on, Cody Garrett talked about content. He hit it right on the nail right there, right? You're trying to build trust with your customers. So building that trust means getting out the right content. And that content might be information that help that individual, that client become better, whether they're researching wealth management, maybe college planning, et cetera, whatever that may be, the content you put together is building trust. And the way I look at it is if you go to a paint store, the paint store is giving you a piece of paint color to drive comfort, to drive trust. When you go back to your home, you know exactly what color you're going to be. The same way, that's what you guys have to look at when you do content. And I think we talked about Scott and First Metric. His website is clear, it's concise, just like Sarah pushed out. So don't let your marketing firm oversell you on SEO, because SEO has to be done right. When you guys meet people on LinkedIn, you meet people in person, the worst thing you can do is build out a website that's so SEO focused that now you met somebody in person, you met them on LinkedIn, they go to your website, and now they're confused. What do you offer? What do you do as a company? So don't let SEO overtake what you're trying to do when people come to your website. Now, as Sarah was saying, there's a lot that can be done with SEO to build your presence. There can be a lot that can be done to build organic traffic. And a good starting point is called local SEO, which is focusing on a service area. So using a tool like Uber Suggest, not only can you search, financial advisors near me, no fee advisors near me, et cetera, but you can also use a keyword such as your local local area, like your city, and you want to try to optimize on that area. So if you're in Charlotte, or if you are outside of city out of Charlotte, my recommendation to you would be is to find keywords you can optimize on your smaller city, but also optimize a page on the larger city like Charlotte, because people might be searching both ways. Near me, advisors near Charlotte, advisors in the, the smaller city near Charlotte, for example. So again, there's a lot that can be done with these tools, but don't let a marketing firm tell you that every single page has to be optimized. That is not true.
Shank, do you want to show us on video, like be on video, or you just want to talk?
You know what? I am not prepared to show you any videos or screens, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So, but what is that? But Shank, like, tell us what they could do to optimize their website.
So the number one thing you want to do first is use your gold mine. And what I mean by that is your clients, okay? Someone talked about before, I think it was Sarah. Your clients are telling you every day, every week, new topics. They're talking about things that they're interested in. Google's not going to know about that. So as you see a trend within your clients, you can use that same content, those same keywords, and develop content around there and post a blog. You could do an email marketing campaign, and naturally those keywords will eventually become trending on Google. And guess what? You're already ahead of the trend. Google is basically taking what people are searching. There's algorithms that are being done. Just like Sarah shared, there's algorithms on LinkedIn. Google has the same thing. It has the same type of algorithms. So the first starting point is talk to your clients, get topics. If that's not a venue, you can use a tool like Uber Suggest, and Uber Suggest will tell you what are the words that people are searching for today.
Shank, can we just pause here for 1 minute? So for example, this is a free website, y'all. You could do 3 free searches a day. Okay, so watch this. If I want to go flat fee advisor New York, right? Look, I'm going to do the search. This always takes so long. Like, I love Neil Patel, but like, why does this always take so long? Anyways, okay, so literally nobody's searching on that, but it's probably going to give me some keyword ideas. And okay, so these are not relevant. Are broker fees legal in New York? Okay. But you could like, so let's just say I did flat fee advisor. Did I already do this? Okay. Flat fee financial, it's going to tell me, okay, flat fee financial advisors, flat fee financial, fixed fee financial advisor should be here. No, it's not. Okay. Financial advisor, fixed fee, flat fee wealth management, flat fee brokers near me. So you should use that tool when you're trying to find the keywords for your site. I'm out of free searches for the day, but that's an example. Shank, what do you think? Did I mess up?
There's a number of tools available. Uber Suggest is one of them. And what these tools will help you do is you search, like Sarah presented, it'll tell you what is the volume per month on average. The other very important piece of information is the keyword difficulty. How difficult is that keyword to be tracking for or to be found organically for? So flat fee advisor, terms like that will be very difficult. So I would not suggest, like Uber Suggest may, I would say go for words, go for key phrases that are easier, meaning they have a lower keyword difficulty that you can track on. The harder ones, that'll take time, that'll take money. I would not focus there.
How do they know those, like, just like the questions that your clients ask you should be in the blogs, right?
Yeah. So going back and looking at SEO for a website, your marketing firm will tell you have to SEO the whole website, the home page, this page, contact page. And again, I don't believe in that. So let's just assume half of your website is optimized for SEO. The other half is the content you're pouring out. So like Garrett mentioned, content like blog posts. So if you have a client that's talking about 401ks and the risk with everything that's going on with interest rates, then that's a topic you could research on Google. You can take a look at the keywords that are tracking. And once you identify that key phrase, you can then start to build the content around that. Again, like we heard before, the users are your source. They want to hear from you. So when you write about SEO, you have to think about what is the person, the client? What are they searching for? And those are the keywords you should search for when you start to write a blog post for. The whole idea about traffic with SEO is really two-part. A, you want to get traffic there, obviously, but number two, or B, you want to build trust. You want to build a relationship. You want people to search a topic. And again, you're not doing blogs to get leads that same day. You're building blogs to build that trust, because eventually you're going to say something that someone's going to click with and then finally say, you know what, I'm going to call Scott or I'm going to call Josiah and I'm going to have them work with me because I believe what they're saying.
Hey, Shank, do videos on the website and a video library rank highly as well, or does it have to be a written blog with those keywords actually written into it in order to get that benefit?
Chris, that's a great question. I cannot tell you the factual answer because the algorithms are always changing with Google. But if you're doing video blogs, I recommend everyone start thinking into that. If you're doing video blogs, you can optimize that video blog. Okay, you can optimize a video. If you're putting it on YouTube, YouTube has its own algorithms. You can put keywords there, descriptions there, etc. But my recommendation is as you do videos, you put them in a blog, you put text. So you can actually put a blog post that outlines what you're talking about. Sarah's done this many times on hers. Talk about what your video is about. Maybe hit the key points. That type of information, now you're getting a twofold benefit. You're getting the video that might show up in the YouTube video library, the Google video library, but then also you have a blog post that people can search for organically as well. So there's two parts to that answer, Chris. Hopefully I answered that.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, I think your answer was you can use video. It's just a little bit different, and make sure to optimize it for video. But it's hard to tell because the algorithm's always changing.
Yeah, well, the algorithm changed for everything, but you can do your video on YouTube, for example. YouTube, when you upload the video, you can put a description there. You can put a keywords there. When you save your video file on your computer before you upload it, name it the same as your keyword in the content title. All that comes together 360. And then finally, when you post it on your website, don't just post it in the video library, or if you do, post a blog post, talk about the video that you're doing, and either embed the video on that blog post or click, put an image and a link to the video gallery section so they can go there directly and see the video from there.
Thanks. Can you put your email in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, Shank is my website guy 2 years now. I mean, I don't mean to endorse, but like I'm ranking, okay? Like I hear from people all the time. So, and rich people, okay? So it's not like just, it's rich people contact me. Okay, so I have a screen here about Yoast. Shank, do you want to talk about Yoast or do you want me to talk about Yoast?
No, I can. So Yoast, so there's no perfect way to do SEO. And so marketing companies, individuals like yourselves can use tools to help guide you to getting as far as you can to become optimized for SEO. As I mentioned, the algorithms for Google are always changing, but there's tools out there to help you be successful or be close to being successful to meet those algorithms. So on your website, if you're running a WordPress website, Yoast is a plugin, both free and you can buy the purchase version, which I recommend buying the purchase version, that it's a plugin that gets added onto your website. And what that lets you do is it guides you as you write up your blog post. So everything from the title, the keyword utilization, how often are you using the keyword? How often are you using the keyword throughout the website? So you don't want to put a blog post that simply talks about financial advisor in the first paragraph 50 times, and then the rest of your post is something else. So Yoast will actually guide you through the use of colors, green, red, yellow. And the goal is to become green in every one of their options that they offer. And again, some of those things have to do with the content key phrase. Some of them have to do with, hey, are you putting an image in there? Is the image optimized with the keyword? Are you putting alt text? For accessibility, are you putting in text so that anyone that's using accessible devices like a screen reader, can they read, can that be read to them? There are other things like the key phrase lengths. Then lastly, for example, internal links. So when you, like I mentioned before, the object of a content like a blog post isn't for someone to scroll down and say, yep, I'm signing up with you today. The goal of the content of a blog post is to keep them interested until they're ready to convert. And one way to do that is, as you're writing your blog post, think about what other conversation, what other very important information you can share with them. And that means you can share another blog post, you can share another video that you may have, or you can share something in your resources like a calculator. That traction of person going through your website is what you want to be able to do. And Yoast will help you do that with these indicators. I think there's about 15 to 20 indicators that they check for to help you ensure that you've done what you can to become as optimal as you can to be ranking on Google.
Does Yoast work with Squarespace as well, or just WordPress?
That is a good question. I can follow up with you. I don't know that answer. I don't know if you know that, Sarah.
I don't think Yoast works with that. I don't think it does. I've never seen it. Okay. So for example, this is an example of one of the things, CFP podcast, the famous CFP podcast. Anyways, so this is an example when I optimized my CFP podcast. Yeah, Chris, we got the fee one coming up too. I optimized it for CFP designation, right? So when people search on CFP designation, my blog comes up, and you see it's also in my title. It's in the SEO title, etc. So that's what Yoast is going to tell me to do. It's going to tell me to put it, hey, Sarah, did you put that in the SEO title right there? And it's going to put a green dot next to it if I did it. So that's why you need stuff like that. But this is an example of how to optimize a website on the blog on the back end. Neil Patel has great SEO tips. I'll put those in the chat in a minute when I'm done talking. So the other thing I want to mention was these Google tools. Now, I just want to say that I personally am incensed. I'm incensed when I see advisors that don't have these tools installed for free on their, so I'm sorry, the installation may not be free, but these are free tools, okay? So I want everybody, however many people were on this call, there were 50 at one point. I want everybody, in fact, there are 200 people on my LinkedIn group, and I have thousands of people following me. I want every single flat fee advisor to be ranking on Google. I'm going to say it clearly that I want every single flat fee, hourly, and advice only advisor ranking on Google at the top of the page, because that way they'll get clients and they will kick the other advisors' butts. Okay, so I can't say it clearer than that, but you cannot do that without these tools, and these tools are free. So I'm broke, I'm starting a practice is no excuse. And if anybody says that to me, I'm going to be mean to you privately, not publicly. Okay, so to avoid me being mean to you, please install these tools. You could do a tutorial, or you could also hire somebody. Like I said, I found Shank on Upwork. Shank does this for people, but other website developers do too. And it wouldn't cost you a lot of money to install Google My Business, populate it for your business with your business's information for free. Google Search Console and Google Analytics all are free. See, again, did I make the point that it's free? Okay.
Sarah, I've been battling Google My Business for 6 months and they still won't approve me. So I don't know if you or Shank have any ideas on how I can get Google Business Profile up, but they have been fighting me.
Chris, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry that happened to you, but you have to talk to Shank or somebody else. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You have to talk to somebody else. You have to start. I don't know. I can't solve the problem here, but that stinks, dude. Sorry. Okay, so Google Search Console, for example, you can see that if I look over at the last 3 months, that what it's going to tell you is what your traffic has been, the total clicks, impressions, the average click-through rate. And then if you go over, you should look in general, okay? Every single one of you need to know how many visits your site is getting on a monthly basis. And if I ever talk to one of you and you don't know that, I'm going to punch you over the screen, okay? I'm going to literally punch you through the computer screen. There's no reason not to know, and it matters, okay? So if you're not in Google shape, I'm going to whip you into shape over this, okay? So for example, this will tell you how many clicks, what the click-through rate is, and then your average position in the list, an index that pops up when someone types in search terms to Google. But you can also go page to page. For example, I have a page here that was a blog on Edward Jones, and this can tell me over the last 3 months, if I go to the query, I go to the page, I pull it up, and then I go to the queries, it can tell me which keywords that page is ranking for. Edward Jones door knocking. Imagine that, financial advisors, that people are typing in Edward Jones door knocking 8 times this month. So they came to my website from typing that in. Right? No, but see, that was what Shank was saying, that Google goes on how people talk. They don't go on by what you think, because I thought it was Edward Jones, right? So I optimized the blog for the keyword Edward Jones financial advisor. And then Google is sending me traffic for Edward Jones door knocking. So that just goes to show you that I should have optimized it for Edward Jones door knocking, or look, Edward Jones door to door, right? I should have done that. But anyways, this is the level of detail that Google can tell you. And people type in things to Google. I mean, I'm not going to say anything like specific about my life, but I've typed into Google things that I don't tell people I type in. Google, right? That I don't tell people I search on, right? Like Google knows more about me than like my friends and my mother does, right? So what I'm saying is use that to an advantage. That use the information. Google is trying to give you the information for free. And then look, Google Analytics is going to show you basically like an overview, how many sessions, what the bounce rate was. You need to know this information. So for homework assignments for this meetup, redesign your LinkedIn page, send out a newsletter this month, and SEO optimize your website. And it's, let me add something. Install Google Tools. Okay, I'm done. Anybody else? Shank, are you still here?
I'm here. I'll add one more thing. So just like Google has their set of tools, Bing also has their own set of tools. So Bing Places is just like, finding your place on Google Maps or Google My Business. Again, another free tool that you should also be looking into as you establish local presence for your business and brand.
And Canute, I want more SEO and more Google presence for the Fiduciary Standard Institute. I'm going to be sending you some mean emails.
Okay. Thank you.
If that doesn't happen.
You're gonna send me to my room.
Right, that's right. Okay.
Okay.
Any final words from you, Shank?
Yeah, let me share one more thing. So with the companies, with the individuals that are starting out their business, and this goes for a comment for those that are working out of their home, you don't want to list your home as your Google My Business place, right? Nobody wants to do that. I have a couple of firms that they were either A, growing their business to another location, another city, or B, they just were simply working out of their home. The way you get around that is a couple ways. A, you can get a co-working space. You can use that as your location. You don't have to rent out a full suite office. A co-working space allows you to have that address. It allows you to have that virtual office. You get the mail to your facility, but at the same time, you're still working out of the benefit of your home. So when you do this Google My Business and your Bing Places, don't list your home, please. Find another address you can utilize as your home base or your work home base.
Okay, thank you. Shank, thank you so much for being here. You're such a good web developer.
No, absolutely. Thanks for inviting me. And it was great to hear everyone's experiences, knowledge, and expertise.
I'm having my 2-year website anniversary with Shank in December. It's been a great 2 years, Shank.
It's been a very fast 2 years indeed.
Because see, I always have to, because I always have the people around me that are like, that work closely with me. Like, I always kind of admire them because they always get these crazy emails like, no caps. Today I saw on my website that there was a blinking green square. Why is this happening, Shank? these crazy, I get crazy like emails, you know, I don't know. It's always like a selection criteria for like, is there anybody crazy in your life? How do you handle them well? Okay, good, then we could be friends. We could work together to filter them out. They're too easily shocked. Okay. Does anyone want to talk about anything else, or can we end the webinar? I'll put that in. Okay, so November 9th is the next one. I think it should be about the offering, the service, the value, how to justify that value of the. I know, Scott, you hate the word value. I'm seeing the thought bubble, Scott, as I'm saying it right now. I'm seeing it pop out of your brain. Okay, how do we justify the value of the services we offer? What services do we offer? How do we describe them, etc.? Okay, that's what the next webinar is going to be about. Okay, does everyone agree on that?
By the way, so
Great.
it's not that I hate the word value. It's that it's the default thing that everybody goes to. It's, you know, when you get questioned about your fee, or you get questioned about anything to do with your business model or anything, it's I add value, I add value, I add value, but nobody can say what that is.
Okay, well, you're about to launch me into another 2 hours. Okay, thank you so much. I wanted to say personally, I'm so like appreciative of all of you. You know, as much as you see me here, I am like a little bit filtered down from how I am in my normal life, and I have all these like ideas and thoughts pinging around in my brain. So I really want to thank all of you for reading my articles and being with me on social media. And, you know, because it means a lot to me when I type these things and you all like, you comment and stuff like that. Like, I really think it's fun and like cool to have like these kind of like little friends and everything, you know what I mean? So it kind of, you know, I kind of like be so lonely without people commenting on my social media posts. So anyways, thank you personally. I've really enjoyed having all of you in my circle, and I really am committed. I want us to kick everybody's butt, and I really don't care what anyone has to say about that outside of our group. So I'm excited about the future. Let's all tell me what I need to do. Okay, everybody. Bye. I'm ending this now.
Thanks, Sarah.